So you clicked on this video because you want to learn what the fastest path to 10K a month online is. And I'm here to tell you, and I don't want you to hate me for it, that I have clickbaited you. And I am here to actually tell you the only and the right way to get to 10K a month online. And you see, the reason you clicked this video is because I ignited enough curiosity in you to have you ask yourself the question, what is the fastest path to 10K a month online? And you see, that's the problem. For the longest time, I've been trying to figure out, why do such a small percentage of people actually make it? Only a small percentage of people consuming all of this business content online from Hormozi, from myself and other, creators. Only such a small percentage of people end up dropping out of college, quitting their 9 to 5, moving to Miami, getting the nice cars, doing all this lifestyle stuff that people want, the materialistic stuff. But such a small percentage of people are able to experience that. And why? All the information you need is online. So what is the problem? And I've come to the conclusion the problem is personal. It's within you. It's you clicking this video and thinking to yourself, I want to know the fastest path to making money online. I'm looking for a shortcut to make money online. I'm looking for the easy route out. And you see, that's the problem. Is that a lot of these people, they sell this lifestyle. They tell you business is fun, business is yachts and cars and girls and traveling. Like, that's what business is. And a lot of people get started after consuming all this content, and they face what I have coined to my clients. They know what I'm talking about. The wall of shit. Okay. And what the wall of shit is, it's this wall, this, imaginary wall that you face as an entrepreneur when you're below 5K a month. So most of the guys I work with one-on-one, not to self-promote, but they're doing between 5 and 30K a month, and they have gone through what I call the wall of shit. But I had this one client that wasn't there yet, and he had all the tactics he needed, but he didn't get through the wall of shit. And let me explain what this wall actually is, right? This wall is when you come to the realization that business is hard. Business is boring. It is not fun. And the sooner you come to that conclusion, the better it is. That's why I'm creating this video, is because no one told me that there was this wall of shit and pain and suffering and struggles that came with business. I was sold into the same lifestyle that all these people talked about online, right? That's what I was sold into. And then I had to face that realization on my own. And so I'm here to show you and try to make up where everybody consuming all this information could actually apply it, get through this wall of shit, and make it on the other side. And I have this diagram here that you might have seen before. And it explains how hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And it's this repetitive loop cycle that I'll pull up right here. And according to my YouTube statistics, most of you are between 18 and 24, the majority. I'm sure some of you are younger. I'm sure some of you are outliers, 30 plus, 40 plus, but the majority of you are part of my generation. And my generation tends to be weak men, right? We have a majority of weak men in our generation. And that's why on one side, everybody talks about how easy it is to win nowadays. But there's a good case that you are the majority and you naturally are a weak man physically and mentally because you've had such good times. If you're from the US and you're middle class, maybe high class, that's how you grew up, you've had such a great life compared to somebody from a third world country where they appreciate water and just natural things that we take for granted. And so because we grew up in these good times, we have never actually forced ourselves to do something that is boring, to do something that is hard that we don't want to do. If you audit your day, and let's say you don't have your business running yet, if you audit your day, what you'll notice is you do what you want, right? You do a lot of what you want. You play video games, you go out, you eat whatever you want, you skip the gym. Like if that's who you are, you're weak physically and mentally. And I'm not trying to call you out because I was there too. Before I started my business, I was scrawny. I mean, I was like 120 pounds soaking wet. Like I was very scrawny and I had terrible habits. So that's physically I was weak. And mentally, I would play video games all day. I'd eat whatever I want. I'd skip the gym. I would do no cardio whatsoever. Like I just did whatever I wanted. And so when I came to this realization in business that I had to do things I didn't enjoy, I faced that wall of shit and I was able to get over it. And that's why a lot of people don't make it, is they're never able to get over it. And coming back to that conversation I had with my client, what we figured out is that he actually didn't have discipline. And he thought he misinterpreted what discipline was. And he said, yeah, Christian, I do have discipline. I go to the gym. And I asked him, I'm like, okay, that's great that you go to the gym. Do you enjoy the gym? And he said, yes. And then I told him, I'm like, that's not discipline. That's a hobby. In my definition, discipline is doing something that you don't enjoy doing. You still do it anyways. So if you enjoy going to the gym, it's not discipline. Don't trick yourself. It might be the case that you've never actually built discipline. And every single person that gets over this wall, that actually gets to 10K a month with an agency, a coaching business, whatever it is, they go through this wall of shit. They do the boring stuff. And so to come full circle here, I'm going to be giving you some actionable stuff, but we have to figure out, okay, Christian, like I understand business is boring and it's hard. And like, that's what I'm here to tell you. And I understand I clicked this video for the wrong reason because I'm looking for a shortcut. I'm looking for an easy, a fast route. But you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I actually do it now? Now that I understand it's hard, it's like, what do I actually do now? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to figure out your why. A lot of people, they set their goal as 10K a month online. And, I'll ask them, I'm like, awesome, you want to hit 10K a month. Why? I just ask them that simple question, why? And they're like, I don't know, because, that's like the mark everybody sets down. I'm like, that's why you're not there. I need you to tell me, why do you actually want to make 10K a month? Because $10,000 hitting your bank account every month, it doesn't mean anything. It's a number. In the same way you play Fortnite and you earn V-Bucks or whatever, it's just a currency. Like, it's just a number going up. What does that 10K a month represent? Does it represent you taking care of your parents? Does it represent you getting an apartment or, the car that you want? Does it represent you traveling? Like, what does your life look like? You need to take out a notepad right now. This is my notepad. Take out your notepad and write down, what does my life look like at the goal that I have in my mind? And now you start to associate this life that you aspire to, this dream life of yours, with a certain number. And that's step one. Step two. So step one is figure out your why. Figure out why you even want to hit this goal in the first place. Figure out, why not just stay in school? Why not just stay in my job? Why not just stay comfortable? What does that opposite look like, where you just stick to route A versus going route B and being different and starting that business? What does that look like? Make a very clear distinction. And if you are going to go route B and start that business, what is your goal and why is that your goal? Now, we can't just stop there. That's very shallow, right? We have a goal and we have why we want to hit it. We have a lifestyle that represents it. You need to go a layer deeper. And this is what I did internally to get over this wall of shit. And what you need to do internally is figure out who your enemies are. Okay? Patrick Bet-David has a book on this, Choose Your Enemies Wisely. I've read it. I recommend you pick it up on Audible or wherever you want to read it. And he covers this concept on how you have to pick your enemies. Now, what are enemies? Enemies are the people or things, ideas, thoughts, things people have said about you that are going to push you. Okay? You have to get clear on what is it that actually is going to drive you. We think like, hey, we want to hit this goal because we want this lifestyle. It's like, no. You want to avoid pain. You need to use negative emotions to fuel action into actually doing the boring stuff that you don't want to do. This is how you build discipline. So this applies in all principles of life, not just business. You could take this to the gym. You could take this with diet. You could take this with faith, okay? But you need to figure out, what is that thing that's actually going to drive you? What is that thing that's going to get you up in the morning and not hit snooze? What is that thing that in the middle of the day, when you're getting distracted, you're tired of doing the boring thing, and you want to click on YouTube to think you're productive and watch a podcast or some, video, you need to figure out what is that thing that's going to stop you from doing that. Once you figure that out, and I mean, you have to dig deep, think childhood trauma. Like, you have to bring these things back to life, because even if you've had a good life, like I mentioned before, we're weak men in this society, but all of us have gone through things. All of us have had doubters. It's, the parents that didn't believe in us. It's our friends that would talk down on us on even thinking of going the separate route. It's these people, these things people have said about you, these insecurities. These are the things that drive the greatest people in the world. You look at somebody like Michael Jordan. I remember watching a clip on YouTube where he tells his coach, after I believe they lost a game, and the coach was like, all right, I'll see you in a few weeks, like after, you have your vacation. And Jordan looked at him and said, I'm going to see you tomorrow morning. And it might sound corny to you, but it's like that mentality where he has all the money. He has the rings. He lost the game. He didn't go on vacation. He's like, I'll see you tomorrow morning. There's some enemy. There's something that's driving him to be the greatest of all time. And so you need to figure out on a smaller scale, what is that thing that's going to drive you? And dig deep, pull that out. And once you figure that out and write it on paper, that's something you don't tell anybody. You don't speak to anybody about this, because that's the thing that fuels you. And that's the thing that people could use against you. But that's the thing that you're going to use for yourself to get to action on your goal and why you want that goal. You see how we're coming full circle here? And so once you figure that out, you're going to be able to face the shit. Okay? This is truly what I believe is the biggest reason holding people back, because all the information is online. You don't need more information. As Patrick Bet-David says, I mean, he says this in his book, I believe he says business is 80% psychology and 20% tactic. It's something like that. And from my own experience building 2 multiple 6-figure companies, it's so true. The tactics are easy. You could go watch a Hormozi video. Even I upload, tutorials, cold DMs, how to scale an agency, like all that stuff I uploaded as well. That's just 20% of business. These types of videos that I'm making right now are the ones that are more impactful on your life. And hopefully you're getting value out of this and you take action on it, because business is 80% psychological. I got confused there, because what I'm trying to say is that you need to become strong both physically and mentally. If you're not strong if you're weak physically and mentally, you won't get anywhere. You could have the tactics and you're going to fail. You're not going to use them. You're going to try it for 2 weeks and you're going to quit. And then you're going to go try to find the next fastest way to 10K a month, the next shortcut, the new business model, the new thing a guru is selling you. And you're going to fall into that lifestyle marketing again. And so I'm trying to save you that trap. And if all I could do is just help one of you get out of that hole that you're facing where you realize business is hard, and help you overcome that wall of shit by showing you why you need a why associated to your goal, and how to choose your enemies to drive you to take action to face with the shit that you deal with. The shit is otherwise known as the problems, the bottlenecks, the constraints, the issues that come up. Because that's what happens with any tactic. If you're trying to get clients with outreach, your accounts are going to get banned. Your scripts are not going to work. Your replies, people are going to ghost you. People are going to cuss you out. If you're running ads, you're going to waste ad spend, right? You're going to have to test more hooks. You're going to have to test more ads in general. If you're doing content, you're going to have to do it for a long time to actually get decent at it. It's like, do you understand now why it's 80% psychological? I mean, it's true, because it's not, it's not just tactics. And so I don't want to ramble on for too much longer. I hope you got value out of this and you understand now the right path to 10K a month online is by facing the hard shit and doing the boring stuff that you don't want to do, and building discipline, elevating as a person, both physically and mentally, to become the entrepreneur that is worthy of hitting your goal. That is the only way that's possible. And I hope you got value out of this style of video. If you did, drop it in the comments and let me know. If you want one-on-one help scaling your agency, you could check out the description as well. But I'll see you very soon. Go watch this next video right here.